Tonight, everybody panic. Patch 7.15 is here, and I don't know how to do things. Everybody press buttons now. Press buttons now. I feel better. I pressed buttons. Welcome, everybody, to the show that we call the Battlenet News. Today is January 10th, 2017. It's now 10:13, starting right on time as usual. And my name is Pat Crane, the host of this show, this little shindig. And as always, the players are here. We will go to, he is a Lord of the Storm. And that's good because he was a little cold last week, and we were making fun of him before the show. It's Gizmo!
I'm pressing things. Is it working?
Yep.
Are we good? Is the show live?
Yep, the show's live. No,
we're here.
Don't have to worry about panicking anymore.
Okay. Oh,
Yep.
We're good. We're good. I am warmer now.
Yeah.
It was frigid here, but
Yeah.
I survived. We're okay.
Okay.
And we're here. It's a show.
Okay. Yes,
Let's do it.
It is a show. Let's do this. And from Line of Sight Gaming and from snowy Utah, it is Tattva. Hello, Sam.
Hey guys, what's up? How's it going?
Oh, yes. Understated as always, Tattva.
Whatever. I'm excited to be here.
A man of many words.
Right. And he wrote this himself. From his snow-buried cabin lost in the heart of southern Appalachia, it's Sharku!
That's straight poetry there, Pat. You know it. That was really good. It was well read, too. I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Southern Appalachia is hard to say.
It is not easy. Right.
Hey, man, when's the last time I was on the show? Like,
it was a while back.
2015?
It was a while back. That's all I know.
I don't even know. I'm glad to be here, though, man. Glad to be back.
Yeah, I'm glad to have all you guys back, and a Happy New Year to you guys and to everybody out there. Hope you guys had a great break. I know that I did. It was filled with lots of things, including learning how to bear. I didn't actually tank anything. I've just been bearing around doing world quests, trying to help my my resto druid get stuff a little bit easier, and that's been going well. But how about you guys? What have you been up to? Let's start with Gizmo. What have you been up to lately?
Man, so it's been a break, but not really a break at all. I have been extremely busy pretty much ever since Thanksgiving started, just with life in general. But as far as the gaming world and stuff, lots of heroes, of course. The HGC getting ready to start, so excited for that. As well as getting a lot more into Overwatch lately. I kind of didn't really play that for a while. I played during the alpha and stuff. It finally came out. I fell away from it, but man, I forgot how good that game is. So I've been really enjoying that. And then, of course, ready for the next stuff to come out in a WoW, the next raid. So get ready to hop back in there.
Awesome. Yes, the next raid is coming out. I will switch cameras here. Hold on one moment. There we go. Sorry, there was a little technical glitch that happened right before we went live, and now everybody's cameras are off, and I'm trying to fix them while we're live. So that's it. Tattva, how about you? I mean, I know that you've been probably doing a lot of outdoors things, trying to like uncover yourself from being buried in snow. What else is going on?
Yeah, I mean, as far as like outdoor things, like if you mean avoiding the outdoors at all costs, that's what I've been doing. But
yes, that's exactly.
There's this little cartoon thing that I saw the other day, and it's just like, hey, it's wintertime, it's too cold outside, play video games. Hey, it's summertime, it's too hot outside, play video. Anyways,
right.
Went on like that with a lot of holidays and stuff. It was perfect.
Yeah, I do that a lot myself too. So, yeah, cool. But what have you been doing in game, dude?
Just the AP grind is real. Basically, like.
Yeah.
Just working on those traits. I mean, I haven't been going as hardcore as I really should be. It seems like I don't know, you need to be running Mythic Pluses all the time to hopefully get to trait 54 before Nighthold opens up. I think we have a couple Raiders on the team that are close. I think they're 50, 51 right now, so they might actually make it. So as far as myself, I'm 46, 47, somewhere in there. But yeah, so just grinding away. And then as far as CTM goes, it's been going really well. We cleared Emerald Nightmare ages ago or whatever. I think we've like cleared it like or farmed it like 6 times or 7 times now or something like that. So
yeah,
that's basically on lockdown. And then we've just been slamming our faces into Odin the past couple raid nights. So there's that.
You gotta have something
phase
to do,
3,
right? Gotta have
Odin Mythic is a blast. It's just a blast.
It's a blast right to the face, unfortunately. Shark, how about you? What have you been up to? What's going on, buddy?
Dude, too much stuff. Like, I mean, it's been forever.
Yeah, it has. Been a few weeks.
Man, I don't know. I've been playing a lot of Final Fantasy, actually, but not the MMO.
Oh, yeah?
I played Final Fantasy 15 and then re-obsessed myself with the franchise and went through 6 and 7 as well. Like, I'm playing 7 right now. And I'm, like, going to do 100%. Like perfect clear shit, like, you know, and it's like my 107th or something. I have no idea, but really into that. But yeah, I got in the game too. I've been playing some Heroes of the Storm with Adults with Jobs, and you know, just everything took a huge casual step back though in the past few months for all the teams that I'm on, both in HOTS and we play a little Overwatch as well.
Sure.
Armagon Offensive, like, you know what's going on with that because you're on that team. But we're continuing to slowly move. I think the plan is to try we haven't even done Vault yet.
I know we haven't done Trial at all. So it's
Trial,
Trial of Valor has not been attempted yet, but
I think that's the plan. I mean, we've got the other one on farm, so but we're just slowly going by normal mode, and that's actually been really refreshing.
Yeah, it's been fun.
You know, it's nice to not have to like super go nut. Like just hearing Tattva talk about an AP grind, like my teeth. Like I was like, oh, ow.
I know. Because I mean, when we were on Asparagus Initiative, we were basically doing that competitive drive thing.
Yeah,
right?
we were that hardcore casual shit. Yeah.
Yeah, and so we were. So I know that I would be in this position right now, and I'm so glad that I'm not. I'm so glad that I decided to take a step back to work on real life things, and I'm almost done with my little podcasting book that I'll tell you guys about when it's done. But you know, it's like you understand that grind is real, and when you hear all the stuff that happened that kind of blew up over the holidays, and we'll talk about that here in just a second.
Yeah.
But when you hear all the stuff that's kind of blowing up with competitive players, you feel for them because you know that was you like 6 months ago or a year ago or whatever it was. And it's just like,
and I'm not going to lie, part of me wants to get like, there's part of me that I'm like, I might try to find another middle ground somewhere with another team where we're raiding twice a week and doing heroics and maybe not push. I would love to be on a Mythic raid team again, but I just don't think I have the time. Like, I don't think to do it healthily. You know what I mean?
And we're gonna talk about all this stuff too,
we'll get into that later.
Because I mean, there was a lot of great posts that happened recently, and so we'll make sure to hit into all of those concerns from competitive hardcore players.
You better.
Yeah, exactly. But we have some fun stuff to talk about too. Before we actually get to the news, I want to talk about some fun stuff because this next week is the week that we celebrate the CtR Guild Anniversary. We turned 4 this year.
Ooh.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So we turned 4 and we're planning a bunch of different events. And if you want to see what all the events are for the guild stuff, you can go to guild.converttoraid.com and check all those things out. Now, I know that I am going to be doing a thing on Monday next week with Major Death with Hearthstone, where he's going to basically, I think he's gonna push my face in the dirt with his Hearthstone knowledge. And but we're just gonna go and have fun for a couple hours next week. That's 8 to 10 Central on Monday. And Tattva, you have something going on as well, right?
Yeah, so this coming Sunday, I think, is the kickoff for the whole shindig or whatever, and that coincides with one of our raid nights. And so talked to the raid team, and everyone was pretty excited about donating a mythic carry spot as a prize for just to kick things off, to get someone in there to see Emerald Nightmare on Mythic, get the title, the Dreamer, get some gear along the way. Secondhand stuff we still need to farm, but yeah.
Right.
But yeah, but just to come along, and then I mean we have a few people that stream and stuff, and so yeah, it'll be fun. If people want to come hang out that first night of the celebration, watch us raid, watch us wipe, or whatever ends up happening. It's going to be interesting. It'll be a lot of fun though. So are we doing that right now?
Sure, we can. Sure. Why not?
Sweet.
Oh,
So a bunch of people.
I hit the applause too early. Go ahead.
Well, no, a bunch of people signed up. I'm just doing a random generator. I don't know. Like this is visual, so you guys can't. If you're listening,
if you're watching the video,
but
you got it. If you're listening, you'll just have to wait for it, and we'll see what we.
So
get.
basically, here's the list of people. I think we had 95 people sign up.
Wow.
I'm just gonna do a random 1 to 95, and so this is it.
Okay. What do we got? Who's the winner?
So intense.
It's so intense, and he's like,
"Oh, 6."
I can't see Jack right now.
Yeah, I couldn't even see it either because it's so small on my screen too. So number 6 is Bear. Bear from CtR Emirates.
Hey, way to go!
Yeah. So
Cool.
I'll be looking to get in touch with him or her.
Yeah.
That's kind of a manly name, right? Bear.
I don't know. It's an animal.
It's true. I'm a
Well,
bear from
no.
time to time myself.
I've been playing bear I've been playing bear this last couple of weeks on my druid.
Exactly.
So you gotta do that. I heard
Yeah.
that. Shark.
So if you are listening or you hear it, I'll be looking to get in touch with you. I'll probably spend some time talking to you about the fights. Just we'd rather have you not die in a corner every single time. So, but yeah, everyone's welcome to join. We'll list in Discord. We'll list whoever's streaming and stuff. So if you guys want to come hang out, check out Emerald Nightmare on Mythic. Stop by, come say hi.
Yeah.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, do it. And so we've got a bunch of different stuff going on. That's only part of it. So make sure to go to guild.converttoraid.com to check out all the events that are going on throughout the week. And I might be doing some other stuff. I'm not sure. I think Jules and I are doing something, but I can't remember. I don't have it on my calendar.
Yeah, I may be doing some Heroes stuff, talking with Turarts about it, just trying to get scheduling and everything worked out.
Yeah.
And all the tech issues solved on my end because fun. Good times.
Tech issues
and
are
shout
the
out.
best.
Yeah, shout out to her as well. She's the one that organized the whole sign up sheet and all that stuff and got the names, and so she's doing a good job of setting up everything.
Turarts is great, and this is like her time. She announces when there's 6 months to our anniversary, and then again at 4 months, and it makes my heart jump because I'm like, oh, we're almost there. And so she really plans this thing out, and it's really great. And so I can't wait to see all that happens next week during the crazy time of year. So. And the new raid comes out, so there's going to be all sorts of different activity happening in the guild, so that'll be great. Be awesome. And one more thing, if you guys want to get decked out in Convert to Raid guild gear, you could just go to converttoraid.com/store, and that's where all the shirts are. So there. That's all I got.
The swag.
The swag. And you can see all the designs right there. There we go. Okay. And now, on to the news. News time. So, guys, I don't know if you know this, but patch 7.1.5 went live today.
No.
Whoa.
It did.
Whoa.
Actually, maybe I should save the applause. Hold on a sec. Because I know that a lot of people were like, oh no. Oh no. A lot of stuff went down. So, Tattva, you know a lot of what's going on with 7.1.5. What's happening here? What are all the changes coming up? What do we got?
All of them?
Well, not all
Holy
of them.
crap.
I mean, like, what are the big ones? What are the big ones to you? Let's say it that way.
I mean, like, it was kind of cool because it's like, it brings me back to BlizzCon, because this is what a lot of what Ian talked about. Like, I mean, he listed all this crap and it's just like, yeah, this is 7.1.5. Here it is, you know? And that was November, so 2 months ago. And so now it's you
here.
know, and they've stuck with it. And it's basically all there that he talked about. Like, the Brawlers Guild, I think, is going to be a lot of fun. I'm not excited for the queue times, personally. And so I'll probably wait on that a little bit until everyone kind of gets their fill, or try playing at like 4 a.m. Maybe that will work.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
You go. There you go.
I was really excited when he first announced it. I was actually, even though it's a silly thing, I was actually pretty stoked about the micro holidays, like the AQ gates opening and the big drapes of, well, we're on Airy Peak, so it will always be Alliance banners. I mean, I'm kind of calling out the Horde there, but I don't think there's that many of them. So,
well, now keep in mind,
there's a few.
I think it's I don't think it's your realm. I think it's your battle region. Isn't that? Like, isn't there a few realms that get together?
I thought it was like just specific realm by realm thing.
Just your realm by realm. I don't know. I'd have to double check that, but
yeah,
if it's just realm, then yeah, good luck, Horde.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of a cool thing, just to be able to go down to Silithus and then you see your Alliance banner there. Or if you're on a more even based server, you know, that's bragging rights for the entire year. Yeah, and then there's other ones like Boat Day and stuff, which is going to be awesome too.
Boat Day.
You know, Boat Day.
Boat Day.
But then other than that, like, I think like that's just like a fun thing. A quality of life changes would be the letting Legion be a little bit more alt friendly with the artifact knowledge catch up and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
And then there are a whole bunch of balance changes and stuff to legendaries, new legendaries.
Oh yeah.
Tweaking classes, tweaking talents. But it's basically they're trying to. The overarching thing, it seems like, is they tried to get rid of cookie cutter, give people back some choices.
Sure.
We'll see how good of a job it ends up being. I mean, there's always going to be the spec, no matter what you do. So,
right.
But at least if they're close enough, that the spec can change from fight to fight and stuff. So that will
at least be situational, right? So I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Especially for all DPS classes, you'd like to see there be a little bit of leeway between the different specs on certain fights, anyway. Although I know that that's kind of one of the points where a lot of raiders are kind of like, wait, hold on a sec. If I have to go to a second spec, then I got to build that spec out, blah blah blah, and that's never going to be a thing. Not until we can figure out all this artifact power stuff. So just breathe. Everybody breathe. It's okay. It's okay. Gizmo, what is big on this thing for you? I mean,
so for me,
yeah,
and my WoW experience here has kind of changed. So I'm really looking forward to the time walking stuff. Mr. Pandaria time walking here is finally coming out. The Brawlers Guild, I always loved doing that stuff. However, I did not consider the queue times, which Tattva pointed out, and that made me sad. Is that's going to be a thing?
Well, it is a thing right now, and I know that I've heard everybody like talking about how, you know, that's going to be their jam for a while. So I'm hoping, since I'm on East Coast, maybe if I do that like right when I get home from work, it won't be as bad. Because people, the rest of the US, I don't know. We'll see. It'll probably still be pretty bad there. And then as well, just the artifact knowledge catch up here, just because my time has been limited in World of Warcraft. So that'll be nice. But yeah, just looking forward to seeing all the new stuff here. Right.
Oh, in regards to the queue times though, that was part of the BlizzCon announcement too, was just they're doing some funky things though. So it might actually be a fun thing, because there is a specific encounter which will drag everyone that's around waiting into a fight and kind of have like a little like raid boss thing. So I don't know, it could be just a good time hanging out. And then isn't there like vendors that you can just purchase like they're trying to make it a more social experience in there. So it might be worth it just to go and hang out. Who knows?
Well, and I know that some people have I know that Lore back in the day, like when Brawlers Guild was first released, he like cast everything. So he like made a night of it, and then they went into Brawlers Guild, and then he, basically cast the entire thing and made it really super fun and all that kind of stuff. And Laura, if you're listening, please bring that back because that would be awesome. But yeah, I mean, it's just kind of fun watching people die. Or succeed.
Oh man, we should have someone cast our mythic raid night. That would be hilarious.
Oh, you got it, bud. Sign me up. I'm there.
Yeah, do it, Shark.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go. Shark, is there anything on here that on the list of stuff that is happening in 715 that you're really kind of looking forward to? Wow. So yeah. He's looking at the Nighthold schedule, going, "Oh yeah, that maybe."
Oh God, sure, I know. Well, no, I honestly, we'll get to all that. Yeah. I'm excited about just new stuff. I like how I think their timing is getting a little bit better with some of this stuff. The raids are coming up pretty quick, and we'll talk about some of this. I don't think the timing is off. I think what they're trying to do might be a little bit off. And when we get to Roger Brown's letter, maybe we'll talk more about that.
Sure.
So I'm happy for more stuff. I think most is the Artifact Research Compendium stuff. Because I have been itching to play my mage again. And I just have been so burnt down. I think he's like 103 or something. I never even finished leveling him up because I'm just like, I don't want to do it. I'm
sure,
busy with my DK, and then the task just seems so daunting to try to bring an alt into the game with all that I have to do. So
the nice part is that you and I right now are playing at a level where it doesn't really matter too much.
Cool.
As far as there's not a lot of pressure on us to really ramp up our characters like super duper fast, and we're not being pushed by our team or anything like that for performance stuff, because we go in there, we have a lot of laughs, and then we call it a night, which is great. It's probably the best way to do Legion right now. As far as I'm concerned, if you don't want pressure. Right. You got to be super cash, because otherwise, and we'll get to it in a second, there's some pressure. So yeah.
Exactly. I am excited about. It's going to be easier. It's less daunting now to jump on a different character and try to bring them up and see, learn something new. I don't know. Maybe I'll level my shaman. Who knows? Or something different.
The good news is, though, Shark, just so you know, my druid now is out leveling my shaman. It's Shakira. Shakira is now my alt. Started out as my main, and then I went, I don't know. I love druid. I just can't. Druid, I cannot deny you.
Well, they're strong this expansion. They're right. Their rest of druids are really strong.
They're always good. I mean, especially when you can get tranquility on a 2-minute cooldown. I mean, come on. And you can, in this expansion, you can move with it. You can move while you're casting it. Oh, come on. That's crazy.
They were super good on Heroic Garage. I remember that was their highlight, their high times.
Oh, don't remind me. Okay. All right. Let's move on a little bit. So we've got all that stuff coming up. By the way, if you guys are interested in learning all about 7.1.5 and about how you can make the best out of what's going on with all the new things, I would suggest going to Wowhead. They, as always, have put out a guide on how you can survive 7.1.5, and it's pretty good. I like it. I always like the guides they do. Nighthold. That is coming out next week.
Holy smokes.
So, I know. So we have...
That's tier shit.
So
stuff.
We have...
Sorry, I can't say that word.
So we have... It's fine. So we have 7.1.5 this week. Next week we have 7.2. So we just ram right into it, and we're just going full force. And that next week we have normal and heroic. Then the week after that, we have Mythic and the beginning of Raid Finder. And then that goes, the Raid Finder releases every week or two, every couple of weeks, looks like, through March 7th. So all through February, it's going to be releasing all over the place.
Wow, that's a long ramp up. Wow.
Yeah, so Nighthold. Tattva, have you done any homework on this wonderful raid?
Yeah, we're gearing up.
Yeah, are you gearing up to do
time.
all your shots ready for line of sight and all that kind of good stuff?
Yeah, it's gonna be good. Yeah, starting with the scripts and all that kind of stuff, and then like that's always the sad thing for us is we don't get a chance to get in and for the PTR testing to get footage of everything, and so we end up diving in there as soon as the raid opens on Tuesday, killing like first half of the bosses, and then I just bury myself in my cave and start editing.
Yeah. So
and then that's how my life is for the next while after that.
Well, it's a good thing it's snowy out and outside is scary. The outside is very scary.
I'm extremely excited. I think as far as like big baddies in WoW go, like Gul'dan, he's up there with the Lich King. He's been around from the beginning, basically, you know, and so like just as far as like his tenure in the Warcraft universe, like it's right up there with him. So like I hope his fight ends up being as epic as Arthas's. It'd be sweet.
Oh, so some people are saying now. Okay, so is the raid 7.2 or is the raid not 7.2? Because people are okay. It's just a raid.
Nighthold is just a raid.
All right.
7.2 comes out later.
That's Argus.
That's Argus. Okay. All right. All right.
Or Tomb of Sargeras is 7.2.
All I know is that 7.1.5 was supposed to be independent of other big releases, and I always think that a raid is a big release.
Right. Tomb of Sargeras will be 7.2, which is going to be a new raid, and then Argus will be after that.
It's this new numbering system is so confusing, guys.
7.1.6.3.2. Holiday.
Mm-hmm. I'm actually boat day again. Damn it.
Yeah. Thank you, Nelly, for correcting us, and Melissa for getting that.
Thank you.
That's actually my background currently is this is where you fight Gul'dan, actually.
Yeah.
I'm currently sitting right where he stands.
Wow.
In the instance, but
right. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm super excited to finally fight Gul'dan. I was really sad we didn't get to last expansion. Mm-hmm. So I have really high hopes.
Yeah, we didn't fight him at all last expansion, and right.
And possibly, I have high expectations for that fight. So hopefully, not too high.
Here's what I kind of would like. I would like them to throw a bunch of green crap on the ground, and then maybe we go inside to a separate room and then do some stuff there, and then come back out, and then there's more green crap on the ground.
Yeah, I imagine we'll have to, he'll try and run away again, follow him through a portal, go here, into the future, back to the future, wherever we're going.
What's actually going to happen is he's going to the Tomb of Sargeras to pick up his own skull.
Oh.
And drink. And then just start another time loop.
It's Warcraftception.
And Khadgar's going to fly in roads where we don't need roads.
Right.
We gotta get there in time.
That's right.
There it is.
So,
oh my God.
Yeah. So that's going to be fun.
And this is tier gear in this raid, right? Nighthold?
Right. It is tier. Yep. So that's
sweet.
That's good. But before we get there, I know that a lot of people, and Tattva, you were kind of talking about this beforehand, about how people were gearing up for Nighthold, and Roger Brown from Method, and he made this big, huge, long post today, or was it recently anyway, and others have done the same. Over the holidays, I know that this was a big deal. A lot of competitive players were talking about the problems of Legion for hardcore competitive players. Some of these are some of them are pretty obvious, like artifact power is a problem. for those people that are trying to push themselves and trying to always get more stuff so that they don't let their team down and so that they can be more competitive. And other things are like gear issues with random with the RNG of gear these days with eye levels and best in slot and blah blah blah. I mean, it's kind of a moving target, right? And then the other one is legendaries. I think those are the main three, right?
Yeah.
So, Tattva, I'm going to start with you. Hey, let's talk about maybe artifact power first. What's the problem with artifact power as it stands for those guys that are doing hardcore stuff?
Well, I mean, from that perspective, it's straight up, to be competitive, you have to be equipped and at the top level of your game, which means you need the 54th trait. Like once you hit 35, that gives you a 5% damage or healing or armor or whatever your spec is bonus, and that's huge. But then beyond that, you can keep stacking points into that thing, and every single time it's half a percentage and another half a percentage, and each one of those traits costs 2 million, and then each additional one will be like 100,000 more. And I think the last one, so the 54th trait is like 4 or 5 million or something. So you end up farming like 54 million honor points or something to get there, or maybe it's more than that. I don't know. Points? It's something like that.
Well,
I mean, artifact.
AP.
Yeah, AP.
It's like, whoa, you got a PvP now too?
Yeah.
Right.
But and so
everything.
To be competing at that high of a level, it feels like it basically is a requirement to them. So basically, their entire raid team, they send out some mandate. You guys have to be, you have to have trait 54 to raid with us, and it's just as simple as that. Because like those competitive teams need every little bit of an advantage that they can get.
Yep.
But that being said, that's their choice.
Sure.
You choose how you play the game. Like you guys,
Sure.
You guys are going casual mode, and that's awesome. You guys are enjoying it.
Yeah.
They enjoy the competitive nature of it. And so I don't think there's like a simple answer. Like whatever it would be, whether it's farming some dungeon, whether they like incentivized mythic pluses and made like, if you got like a mythic plus 20, gave you 100% chance to get like an 895 or something, that's what they would be doing. They'd be farming that continually. And so
Sure.
It's how they choose to play the game. So whatever it is that's going to make them the most powerful, they're going to grind that to death. And so whether it's AP or something else, like I don't know that there is a solution.
Well, I mean, there's
Yeah.
there's always something, right? I mean, and you were saying that. I mean, and even Roger acknowledges that things like split clears when you have 5 different alts and you're running with a split raid so that you can kind of try to funnel some gear to people. That's a thing, and that's a thing that is grown over the last few expansions to where it was just like it was just like, oh, let's just do this with one alt, and now it's like, no, you need 5 alts, and there's always going to be a grind. So, but the AP thing, because it doesn't have a cap on it, on how much you can get per week, then people feel like they have to do these grinds, and right now it's through Mythic Plus is the way that most people are doing that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Well, that's
Mob Souls over and over again.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to jump in for a second, and because I agree with Tattva to an extent when you say that it's their choice, that's how they want to play the game. You're absolutely right. If you want to be a competitive world first raider, then you make that choice to do that or not. The problem is once you've made that choice, you don't have a choice on how you play the game. You have to max everything. And I think what I think Blizzard needs to hear, and I think what Roger Brown's point is that Blizzard can control that.
Sure.
Blizzard can make that to where you can still play at the highest level. You can max everything. You can put a lot of time in that most casual players aren't going to do, but not detract from all the other cool shinies that you want to do in the game. There's a way, for example, like we were talking about caps. We're talking about all sorts of different. And he's 100% correct. I've had a problem with the legendary system this entire time. I get what they were trying to do, and it is really fun for but general casual raiders. But gear is so out of control in this game now.
Yeah,
it's so RNG that they're like he was saying, there's no best in slot. So in order to try and get the best gear, you have to grind, and then you just get disappointed because the best in slot item you got wasn't Titan Forge. So you still have to do it again for that possibility that it drops Titan Forge with a socket, Sure. And it's just, the point is Blizzard can control that.
Sure.
Blizzard can help the raiders that choose to be at top tier pull back a little bit. And it's great. And it's one of those things, and like you said, a lot of this stuff is really, really great for the casual gamer. But it's increasingly frustrating the more competitive you get with it. And my wager is that even if you're casual, this is where I'm sitting right now, because I'm very casual, super, super casual. We just do normal clears. But as a gamer, and especially as an MMO gamer, my drive, and an RPG guy, my drive is to be a completionist. My drive is to do everything. That's it's
a huge
painful for me.
Yeah.
It's painful for me that I can't.
Right.
So yeah, there's a middle ground.
Yep. And I think that, especially when you're looking at, let's just take a look at artifact power for a second and say, well, what could have Blizzard done to help mitigate this stuff, right? And one of the things that they could have done was just put a cap on like how much they release. Like you could only get up to the 35th trait until after the mythic Nighthold race is over with. And then, okay, let's open that up so then people can grind towards that as we move on to the next raid, right? As we move on to Argus. And so it's kind of one of those things where you look at it and you say, you know what? Yeah, it doesn't have to be necessarily that grindy, or you don't have to run 3,000 Maw of Souls on Mythic 8 or whatever it is. I think that's what people are doing for their AP, right? To me, Mythic is still a thing. It's just, I'm still doing plus what? I don't get it. So it is kind of one of those things where yes, we could, Blizzard could have done things for, not opening up that last floating thing or whatever. I mean, there's always something. But let's talk about gear for a second. And Gizmo, maybe you can address this. So what is the beef that Roger had with gear?
Well, as Sharku was kind of alluding to, the issue with the gear right now is, it started back, he mentioned it, Titan Forge and Throne of Thunder. It started out as really neat. You could get, plus 5. I don't even know if you could get plus 10 eye level back then.
I don't think so. I think
it was a little bit of a bump.
Just plus 5. It was really nice. Didn't mess with really, as Sharku was mentioning, your best in slot item. It was just a nice bonus. That was it. Now, you can get You can get a Titan Forged mythic item in LFG.
You can,
and then this,
you have to be really lucky, but you can, right?
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. That's really cool. And he talks about how the theme of Legion being, anything can happen, which is nice. But when it comes to those top end teams, again, trying to max out so they can, be the best team that they can be, when you're having to get those items. Okay, I got, Titan Forged item. This is awesome, but it doesn't have a socket. Oh, I got this Titan Forged item that has a socket now, but doesn't have the tertiary stat I want. It's out of their control. There's so much RNG into the gear now that there's nothing they can do about it to put themselves in a better spot.
Except just
they're counting
run
on
it
the
again,
RNG.
or whatever. Just keep grinding because that's what you got to do, right? And so again, I think it's like when you add that with artifact power, it becomes this large grind where, especially if you're playing at the upper end of the scale and you're running multiple tunes and you're trying to do all the things, you end up getting burnt out. A lot of players are getting burnt out because of Legion, because they're trying to do too much, and then they just quit entirely. That's what we've been hearing over the holiday break and up to now is reports of people burning out and quitting the game entirely because there's too much to do in Legion for a hardcore player, and there's no cap. So it's been kind of dangerous a little bit. So
yeah, and it's really interesting. I think it's one of those things that is, no matter what, going to be almost impossible for Blizzard to balance.
Right.
Because even if there was caps on these things, all that would mean is these top end raiders are capping these tunes and then doing the exact same thing on other tunes. So they are always going to be finding a grind in order to get themselves in the best spots. But the problem is this carries over to a lot of people. Me, for instance, I had mentioned I had taken a step back from Mythic raiding because of the amount that I had to do just to stay geared and not bring my team down, the Convert to Mythic team. I couldn't do anymore with a full-time job, 2 podcasts, playing other games, while being able to actually enjoy everything else that the game has to offer, which is a problem. I think Blizzard took the right steps in Legion. They took one giant leap forward, and I think they went a few inches too far and stepped off a cliff. So maybe, and again, it's learning experiences here. I think they had great ideas, just a little too much. And
well, and then you also add in legendaries, and legendaries throws another RNG thing into the whole mix of things, and it complicates the gear problem, and it especially when there's so many different legendaries and they're available to a wide variety of players. I mean, some of them are open to everybody, and Roger Brown kind of goes into this into his tweet or his post, and where some of these are power, some of these are situational, some of these are for a specific class, some of them are for multiple classes, and it's just kind of like this big random generator of legendaries, and nobody knows exactly what's going on with them. And hopefully with 715 we'll start to see that kind of dial back a little bit, because they did nerf a bunch of the legendaries. They helped some of them along, they buffed some, they nerfed some. They're trying to level them out a little bit, make them a little bit more situational, but still it's a problem. And it's hard when you're trying to do, and we just had a little thing in the chat room where Star Fury said first world problems, and I said no, it's actually world first problems, but it is a problem. And so when you start to see these guys that people look up to, these teams that people look up to, and you start seeing people fade because there's just too much to do and not enough time to do it. It's a problem for those guys, for that top 1% for sure.
I would argue that it's a problem for more than that, and the reason is because I could, like I said, I felt the effects myself, even as a very casual player, and it is very frustrating. I want to do everything, but it doesn't seem feasible. It seems too daunting for someone. Well, I mean, look at it this way. All 4 of us on this podcast right now, we're all Mythic Raiders at one point. Now only one of us is.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's a reason for that. And I don't think it's just because we're not any good anymore, or we're has-beens. I mean, I think if we put the time,
I'm a total has-been. I'm fine.
Excluding Zug, but it's because we've felt that burnout ourselves, and now I'll speak for myself. One of the only reasons I'm playing this game still is because of the love of the game. I love the lore,
Sure.
and I know that here, I guess the shining light for me is that this too shall pass.
Well, and it's
At some point we'll be in new patches, new expansions, and we'll have another first world problem.
Well, right,
but,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, because the pendulum always goes back the other way, and usually with Blizzard it goes back hard, right? So I mean, we have not really seen. Every time we see a problem, in my view, it seems like it starts over, hard right, and then it goes hard left, and then it goes maybe finds a little bit of a middle ground in the next expansion or something like that. But usually it's the pendulum swings hard, and so we'll see something. We'll see it swing back.
But I think it's just a mentality thing, really. Like, this has been growing for such a long time. In that top 1%, that ultra competitive, we're fighting for world first. Like, back in the day, I think in his little spiel, he even talks about back in the day, the reason I started getting into competitive raiding in the first place was I was cruising around some major city and saw some dude decked out and was like, man, I want to get all that gear and stuff.
Right.
And
how do I get that? Yeah.
And so, but like, that competitive nature is an awesome thing, but it also compounds on itself. Like, as soon as someone figures out a better way of doing it, hey, we're going to do 2 heroic clears. We're splitting our raid in half. We'll feed the gear.
Right.
Someone came up with that idea. Now all the teams have to do it if you want to stay competitive, and it keeps building and it keeps building. And now it's up to 5, 6 alt runs, all that kind of stuff. And that is a choice, they're there and they love it. Those competitive guys, they feed off of that stuff, and you hear it in the videos and their the kill shot nerdgasms, all that stuff. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and so the reward's really high. But I think the game has gotten so big, and there have been a lot of people that have been there and done that it's kind of diluted the sense of how awesome that is for them. And I think some of the recognition has disappeared a little bit, especially with the loot. A lot of things are adding to this problem, but it's just a different mentality. I think they've just pushed themselves so far to a breaking point that they forced it on themselves to play this way. And I don't think Blizzard can do anything to stop it except maybe recognize them. A lot of people have mentioned, there was a dungeon race, that mythic, the collegiate dungeon race that someone held or whatever, and they cast it and all that kind of stuff. Tova and I were talking about it earlier, just as far as bringing light to these guys. People would enjoy to be part of this. It could be a huge spectacle in the WoW community, but the thing is that they're so secretive about it until the kill happens. And so I can't remember who it was. It might have even been Roger Brown, but bringing up a standardized world first race where they had to follow some specific rules that Blizzard implemented, saying you have to stream your raid, you have to do this, and they could implement rules that could cut down on the grind, where if there's still that group of people that wanted to be in the limelight and were able to meet these rules, and hopefully some of the rules would require them to be less grindy and that they could play the game more, cut it back, maybe even put a limit on the split clears, or I don't know what they would do, but something to bring it back down, but get them in the forefront. Sure, you'll still have some crazy guild out there that does everything and then does end up killing things first. But as far as the whole official Blizzard sponsored blah 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 world first race, it's these guys. They're out there, they're visible. And one of the things that we even were talking about was that dungeon race a while ago. They have ways of watching. They can watch, they're watching the world first teams clearing these things in case there's bugs, all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Where even if that was part of it, there's a official Blizzard stream that just had a camera parked way back, looking down on the boss fight. You wouldn't need to do anything. You wouldn't have to have commentators. Just show it, and then have a split screen thing where these are the top 5 teams right now, and so these guys are all working on this boss, and as it progressed, it worked down to the final 2 on the final boss, and you can just bring up the screen. These guys are getting their food buffs right now. These guys are wiping on phase 2, and just guaranteed people would watch that.
Oh,
and it would be amazing.
I think
guaranteed.
You're inspiring me.
Well,
I
there's
really
a little bit of a problem that I see with that, and it's not a major one, except for I don't think Blizzard would want to get involved with that. Only because the world first race has always been so community driven, right? It's always been a community thing, and excuse me, I was talking with Sloot before the holidays, and if you guys didn't hear that, go back. But I was talking with Sloot, and he's like, this whole thing was driven because of community. It wasn't driven because of recognition from Blizzard. It wasn't driven by this. It was driven by seeing that guy in Stormwind or Orgrimmar and going, I want to look like that guy. That guy has got it, whatever it is. And
but the thing
is
that doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't happen.
Right.
And I get what Zug's saying, but at the same time, like the idea that Tattva has all these
it's cool. I like it.
I'm just getting and even this, like, here's what you do, Blizzard, and go ahead and start getting my contract together right now. I'll start next week.
All right.
You get have some sort of attunement for guilds. To where they have to do some sort of grind to qualify for whatever the heroic raid race, and then start it out at equal levels to where gear isn't like crazy gear isn't an issue. It's all about talent and skill and working together, and then show that. At the same time, you're all doing that, and then when whoever wins the race, then that raid opens up for everybody else. Something like that, I think that would be really cool.
I think you could make it a lot easier than that too.
Even easier than that's a complex way of doing it. But some way of, I feel like what we're all getting at, and what we got to find, and I think even what Roger Brown is talking about, finding a way to. There's so much RNG. He mentions RNG like 20 times in this letter. There's so much RNG happening, which is my problem with the legendaries in the first place when we talked about these earlier, even for casual players. There's so much RNG that there's no standard anymore.
Sure.
Where in the beginning, even before hard modes, in the beginning there was one raid and there was one set of gear, and you grinded the gear the best you could, and then you did the raid. And we're still at that point to an extent, but it's so complex and so RNG that you put all this time into it and you're not getting anything out of it anymore. I think you're not getting as much out, and that's the real problem, and that transcends the world first race. I think.
And just to kind of piggyback on this whole conversation, I think what you really need, I think instead of putting it on Blizz to do things, which I don't think that they necessarily want to do, because they. I mean, it's the same thing with.
They want to make a video game.
It's the same thing with esports. It's the same thing with everything else. They want to make a fun video game that they think will be attractive to a certain player, right? And so they think they want to build a game that is great for esports. Great. But they don't want to do. I mean, they want to support an esport try, sure, but they don't necessarily want to do all the heavy lifting. And who can blame them? They're there to make great games. What you need is an outside force. And Bear I don't know if this is the same one that won the Mythic run, but Bear in our chat room just said WoW TV. Yeah, you know what? You get some guys and they put together a way to constrict the requirements for getting into a tournament, and you do it under this restriction. And so, like, let's just say it's for Nighthold. We're gonna do a tournament essentially, and the winner gets money. Great, perfect. And that always works better than just straight up recognition. Oh, we're world first. We win. Great. No, how about money? That'd be great too. So you say, okay, you can be in Nighthold, but you can only have your 35th trait for artifact power instead of 54. So we're going to restrict stuff, and we're going to say you don't need all this other junk. You need to bring your good players, And
Yeah,
that's
finding
it.
some way to have a level playing field, I think, is what,
and have a life
because
outside
the
of it.
game, right? The game, yes, it takes work and grinding, and there should be that element into it as well. But I don't know how, with a card game like Hearthstone or poker or anything, like luck of the draw is always going to be a factor, and that's part of
Sure.
what makes that fun.
Sure.
But I don't think luck is necessarily a good thing to base
No.
a game like WoW on. The
Well-
more RNG that's happened in this game, the less fun I've had, and that's just my point on it,
Right.
or my perspective from it. But yeah,
I like the idea of it still being community driven, community focused, but the problem with them putting those limitations themselves on this is the fact that there is so much RNG in the gear that it would be really hard to say, all right, you have to be, you can't be above this high level, because then the gear and stuff.
It sucks for this to talk about it in the context of like this.
Yes, with what's currently going on.
Right, exactly.
that's the thing. That's the point. Blizzard can change that as far as the game's concerned.
If Blizzard did something like that, and I actually mentioned this back whenever Emerald Nightmare was cleared super easy, and now like they were having the issue of, okay, now World First is done. I liked your idea of attunement, and I don't know if it would be something like, okay, if you clear Heroic before Mythic launches, your raid team qualifies for attuning, to where you just attune, and bam, you are at a set item level. Even in this situation, they would have to go far enough as, all right, you have these item or sockets, tertiary stats, like this is the gear you need. Everyone's on level playing ground. May the best man win.
Yeah.
That, while if they were going to do something, they would have to go to that extent. I do think that is too much, and I don't think it's something Blizzard would do.
Right.
So yeah, I don't know.
Right.
We'll just have to get rid of some of the RNG if that happens, next expansion, and then somebody step up in the community, get this thing going. I want to watch it.
Right.
I mean, as far as what,
that'd be great. That'd be great.
as what we were.
Go ahead.
Sorry. As far as what, like I was mentioning in the first place, like competitive rating, that'd be excellent. But as far as bringing it back to like just that current 1% of the raiders getting burned out and stuff, I think like that is totally like, I mean, it is community driven, the whole World First thing and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But unless they created a spectate mode where someone like Darius is the manager of Mecca now, right?
Darius.
Not that Darius.
Oh, yeah.
Dairy.
Yeah. Dairy. Yeah.
Anyways, like someone like that, where there's that 26th person that can have a camera recording that, and it's just like, it's hard to do that outside of Blizzard. Like literally they can park a camera, set up some cameras on the number one guilds fighting for it, and it would just bring recognition to him. And that's a big thing that he feels like is missing now.
Yep.
And so these teams, just that fact, I think it would help out. And I would, like, people in chat are saying they'd love to watch that and stuff. It's just, if they want recognition, they need to put themselves out there. They need to broadcast their raids. As scary as that is, secrets get out, all that kind of stuff. But
well,
I don't know.
And I think we've been talking about this, kind of skirting around it for the last couple of months. And I think that's been kind of out there as to what is the problem with World First rating, and here are the issues that they're having, and we're just finally starting to see kind of like the edges are starting to fray on the players right now because of all the because of the grind and because of all that stuff. What I want to talk about just really quick, and it's just going to be a helpful hint for those guys that feel like they're competitive and they play at a really strong level. They know that they have, that they're not top 50. They're not a top 50 guild, but they might be really trying to push themselves and stuff like that. I want to say to all of those guild leaders, to those raid leaders out there, maybe put some expectations on your team members and just say, listen, I want to actually dial this back a little bit so that you're not feeling like you have to play the game so much because we're not a top 50 team. We don't have anything at stake here. We know that we don't have any. We may have bragging rights on our server a little bit, but you know what? That is nothing if I can't keep players. So if I'm burning out players, there's no way that we're going to be able to finish a mythic raid. So let's put our own caps on these players and just say, listen, guys, I don't expect you to get more than like one artifact level higher in a week, because it's a huge grind and we all have jobs and we have things going on. Life happens.
Right.
So if you can say that to your team, then that's great. I want people to enjoy this game as long as possible, and Legion is a lot of fun. Let's not forget that.
Absolutely.
Legion is a
I think
blast.
that's the best
amazing.
advice. The best advice that the show has had yet.
So
ever. Period.
I want to commend Tattva on kind of doing that very thing. The convert to mythic approach has been awesome. Like you said, there are people who are reaching their 54th trait, but that's not anything Tattva has pressured. They're expected to put in the work to not hold the team back. I was never asked to leave the raid, even the team, even though I was not top level performer by any means. They dealt with me while I was still in there, got me in fights. And I just got to a personal level where I couldn't keep up. I felt like I was bringing them down, but they have a fantastic balance. And I think the raids themselves are balanced really well because, they have cleared Mythic Emerald Nightmare on a 2-night basis. And with, several weeks, having time to farm up to prepare for the next raid without that added pressure.
Right.
Which is amazing.
And I really think that a lot of people I think a lot of raid leaders need to step up. If you're not already doing this, and Pleptic, thank you for saying stuff in chat about Alone and stuff like that. And I'm glad to see that hardcore teams are saying, hey, listen, let's not go so fast. On trying to like overpower the raid. Let's just work the raid. Let's just do our thing at a rate that is comfortable to us. Because it's tough. Hey, hardcore people, learn a little something from the casuals this time.
Well, that's what I mean. In a sense, like almost what you're saying is that if we're not on method, like we are all kind of hardcore casual, and it's really true. This is the best advice. I mean, I think I knew this intrinsically, but at the same time, this is the best thing our listeners can get out of this show. I think is whether you're on a raid team or a raid leader, manage your expectations. If your raid leader is pushing you too hard, pull them aside and be like, hey, this is what it is. And if it doesn't work out, find another team. Don't cause this game to cause you problems in your life. Any more problems than it's already going to cause because you spend $15 a month playing a video game and have since you were in college. Sure. But, it's I don't know. It's manage your expectations, be happy with what you're doing, and just chill. Like that has honestly all the garbage I talk is because I get frustrated because I think about how I used to be when I was so hardcore. And we just we'll kill it when we kill it.
I have a number. I have a number where we have people standing by to take your calls. It's just call 1-800 calm the F down, and our operators will be with you shortly. Let's table the rest of the conversation for WoW for now, because
I think we nailed.
I think we did too. I think there was a lot of good discussion in there, and thank you, fellas, for that. Let's move on to some talk about heroes.
Let's roll.
Let's do it, Chen. Now, Gizmo, what's been going on?
Sorry.
What's been going on with heroes? Sorry.
So
go ahead.
It's been a while since we had a show here. I do not remember if Ragnaros was released the week of the last show.
So fun. Oh my gosh.
I don't think
Ragnaros. Oh, so fun. Go ahead.
Yeah, so he is out now. He's incredible. The animations are fantastic for him. He's an assassin. So make sure to check him out. However, Blizzard went on break, holiday break, and they came back, and we had our first straight to live hero in a long, long time.
Ooh.
I can't even remember the last hero it was. So Zul'jin was announced and released. Yes, no PTR.
Wow.
He is another assassin that is a blast to play. He does have 2 arms and 2 eyes. So sorry for those people that are really upset. But hey, it's the Nexus. They can, it's just...
He's a troll. He regenerates.
Rin is there. I mean, he can be there. That's fine. And he can be regenerated. That's totally cool. So, and that's another really cool, like, mechanic for a hero is playing with your health and really kind of, I don't know, it's just really neat. I haven't played him, but man, the video
flirting with
awesome.
death is what I would call it.
It's intense, and it's so much like Gul'dan. It's finding the balance between life and death, you could say. So his attack speed increases and attack power increases the less health he has. Yep. So it's one of those heroes where you kind of want to sit around 50% health, depending on what build you go, of course.
Sure.
So he's auto attack hero. I guess if I was going to compare him to any other hero that's currently in the game, it'd kind of be Vala-esque. He's a ranged assassin, throws some axes, but just has some really cool talents and traits. It'll be interesting to see if him and Ragnaros get any play the first week of HGC coming up here. But more importantly, Zul'jin was the last hero that was on the long list of leaks that I don't remember the name of the guy that posted the leaks on 4chan and his predictions. Every hero he had on there has come to fruition, is in the game. And so people were kind of like, what's next? I don't know what's happening. I believe it was the same guy just posted, it was either yesterday or the day before, a Valera leak. So we may have a Blood Elf Rogue coming into the game next. Who knows? We'll have to see when that's announced. That could be exciting. Less exciting, another stealth hero, because everyone loves stealth heroes. That's
Sure.
Sure. Along with some new skins that were released today, the Dream Genie Chromie and Bronze Tiger Karazim, which are both amazing.
I love Karazim. Karazim's my go-to guy. Whenever I'm like, what should I play? Oh, I'll just play Karazim. He's awesome.
I'm just going to punch things and heal things by punching. So it's awesome.
Heal by punching.
So a lot of stuff happened over the weekend or the holidays. If you haven't played in a while, hop back in there. Just remember, it is now okay to troll in the Nexus. It's accepted.
Oh, snap.
Oh, I see what you did there. It's okay
to be a troll.
Let's move on to some Overwatch.
You dipstick.
That's right. We do have a new map. It's called Oasis. It's now live. I have played it twice. And each time I get really frustrated because I go into the arcade mode because I'm like, I want to check out this map. I want to see what it's all about. I want to do the thing. And every time both times I've done it, I've gotten frustrated because it's in arcade mode. We had a guy leave and then never be replaced. And so I was like, dudes, really? You're killing me here. I can't win this stupid thing, and I'm checking it all out and stuff like that. Have you guys checked out Oasis? Anybody here?
I have not. I have been just sucked into ranked play and then still the 1v1s. I can't stop playing 1v1s.
1v1s. So in Oasis, one of the great things is that you can go play in traffic if you really want to. And die a horrible death. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you watch that video of everyone getting hit by a car? Someone
I did
posted
not.
It. When it was on the PTR, someone posted it, and it's just every single champion just getting ran over, just back to back. It was pretty funny.
Nice. There was actually a video that came out a few days ago, and it was kind of presented like Jeff Kaplan is coming out and doing another one of his dev talk videos and all about Overwatch. And it was actually this guy who cut up all of these Jeff Kaplan videos and talking about, and while he was doing it, it's like, hi, I'm Jeff Kaplan with Overwatch, blah, blah, blah. And the next hero to come out is Jeff Kaplan from Overwatch. And so he was talking about his own hero traits and how he had a butt-like tracer. And, you know, it was just really funny. I don't know. I tweeted it out earlier today. I was just too funny. I don't know.
Parody warning, butt-like tracer instead of moves like Jagger. Go, Zug.
There we go. Nope, not gonna do it. There were some class changes going on as well. Some balance changes. Roadhog, his hook doesn't go around corners anymore, so be ready for that. And Diva's armor has decreased and stuff like that. So, anything else? Overwatch. I think Hearthstone is still going strong. Still in the new expansion and everything like that. So not much going on there. What, Shark? Are you playing a lot of Hearthstone?
No, I love Hearthstone.
Yeah, it's good.
I play Hearthstone every day. I play Hearthstone more than any other Blizzard game, and that's not a lie. Because I play it every night when I'm going to bed on my iPhone, and sometimes at work, and it's literally the worst thing that's ever happened to me.
Sure.
But no, it's a great
A lot
game.
of people I know play Hearthstone in the bathroom because, you know, why not?
I have. It's you know, what do you call that? Productive potty time.
ETT. Right.
ETT.
Yeah, you know me.
But yeah, no, I have described that as the perfect game, and it remains to be perfect. So, good job, Hearthstone.
It's getting a little. I mean, for me, it's getting a little busy. You know, just with all the expansions and with all the new cards, I feel like I'm behind. Yeah. But I still really like the game. So
if you don't, it does get kind of overwhelming. You got to buy like when the new expansions come out, you throw the $50 for 50 packs deal. Those are really, really helpful to kind of keep in the loop. But if you can't spend $50, you got to do the grind. So grind out that gold.
Or just play wild.
Or play wild. Yeah.
Yep. Either way,
anything can happen in wild.
All right, let's wrap up with some esports.
Let's jam.
Let's do it. Now, Gizmo, what has been happening with Heroes of the Storm?
So HGC is set and ready to go. The top 8 teams from each division are going to start competing at the end of this month. But we were kind of waiting on the announcement for the open division, which is going to be the tier below that allows teams to participate to try and knock off the 2 bottom teams in their respective region twice a year. Mm-hmm. And those details were finally announced. So they're going to compete alternating weeks for 7 tournament cups. And that's going to be hosted by Gosu Gamers and cast by Solid Jake and Jhow on the Arcane 8 Twitch channel. But they're going to earn points to top 6 teams, 16 teams in each tournament. They're going to keep track of these points. And at the end of each 7 cups, they're going to create a 16-team bracket. And then the top 2 teams from that tournament will be able to challenge the bottom 2 teams from the actual HGC teams to get a chance to knock them out and actually, get on that salary that Blizzard has given to the HGC players. So it's going to be really neat and something that Heroes has been needing. Last year was great in the Heroes Global Championship, but now having this structure is really healthy for this as an esport going forward.
Yep.
And great to get new teams in there. But this is going to begin, the Europe Open Division is going to start January 16th, and then North America is going to begin January 23rd. So it's going to alternate each week between Europe and North America if you're wanting to keep track on those regions. And you can go to the website, heroesofthestorm.com/esports for information on how to sign your team up for the Open. And I believe you can still sign up for that. So if you have a team of 5, just, sign up, bam, you're in and compete in these tournaments, try and get in that top 16. And who knows, maybe you'll get in the top 8.
Maybe. And if you're doing any Hearthstone stuff, by the way, if you're looking forward to the Hearthstone Championship Tour for the Winter Championship, then you may be going to the fabulous Bahamas. That's right. So they've announced the location for the Winter Championship, but I don't think they've announced the date, or have they? Did they announce the date? I don't know. I don't see it anywhere on here.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
no,
it's going to be
March 26th.
Thursday, March 23rd through Sunday, March 26th.
So end of March in the lovely Bahamas. So be looking forward to that, everybody. And that one should be pretty cool. It's a $250,000 prize pool.
Yeah.
A lot of big bucks, man. I tell you.
Speaking of prize pools,
Yes.
one of my co-hosts, Multizord, found this website, and I do not know the authenticity of this website. I don't know if it's official, but it is very interesting to look here. It's esportsearnings.com, and this just releases the top games of 2016 esports and their earnings here. So really interesting. All of the Blizzard esports made it onto this list, including Warcraft 3. Who knew that was still a thing?
Top 17.
Wow.
That's 17th. Yep. Cool.
But what really stuck out to me, so of course, Overwatch, Hearthstone, StarCraft, and Heroes of the Storm are all in the top 10, which is amazing, especially for Overwatch, which hasn't even had an official league yet.
Right.
But what's really stuck out to me, being a Heroes of the Storm player, is that Heroes of the Storm ranked number 4 on here, behind Dota, of course, number 1 at $37 million. Counter-Strike at 17 million, League of Legends at 10 million, and then Heroes at 4 million or 4.5 million.
Right.
Which is expected because, it's a newer MOBA. But if you look closer, they have details of that 4.5 million. That was between 381 players in 57 tournaments, to where League of Legends was between 1,300 players in 120 tournaments.
Yeah.
So this puts Heroes much closer on the heels of League than I expected. And if I was a League player who was not winning in every tournament and bringing money, I would find it very interesting. And we'll see if some League players come over to Heroes, where there is a much greater chance at, getting a piece of that pie, especially with the new league. And I imagine we'll only see the earnings of Heroes of the Storm going up in these following years here. So just some interesting information if you guys want to check it out. And for all of those thinking Heroes is a dead game, it is not.
No. And World of Warcraft was number 15 on the list. And the other league, Rocket League, was number 24. I always have to look for Rocket League on any kind of big game list. I'm still playing the crap out of that game. I love that game so much. It's like
my favorite.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
You first.
No.
Okay. My favorite thing is that number 92 down here is a game called Reflex that I've never heard of. They gave out a total of $32.74 in earnings last year
to one player.
That one player that
that's
apparently
beer money.
Gave himself $32.
That's beer money, dude. You got to respect
also,
that.
Another interesting. where is it? There's somewhere it's up here. Where is it? Oh my goodness. It's like NHL 94 number 73. NHL 94.
Wow.
Gave away $806.
Yeah, in 3 tournaments
to play a Sega Genesis game. NHL 94.
Well, that's
Go ahead.
the older games. Warcraft 3.
Yeah.
I mean, that's at 17. That was still $400,000 last year.
I know.
Oh no, yeah. Some of those older games, the competitive older games, but NHL 94. Why not 95? It's just interesting.
I don't know. All right. Anything else here, fellas, before we get the heck out of here?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, in that case, I will play this lovely music right here. And we will go around the room and tell people what we're up to and how they can get a hold of us. And let's start with Gizmo. What's going on with you, buddy?
Not too much. Over the break, if you guys are interested, I guested on the Converted podcast, I think right after we took a break. And then as well, to start off the new year, I was on the Game Case show.
Oh, yeah.
With Cuddles and Terarts.
Cool.
A really good episode. I got to answer a lot of questions just in general about, the balance between podcasting, gaming, and life, and kind of, decisions that have come of late. So definitely check that out. But you can find me on Twitter at GizmoZord, as well as my Heroes of the Storm podcast, Lords of the Storm, which does our show Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Central on twitch.tv/Lords of the Storm.
Cool. And Tattva, how about you? Before you go away and bury yourself underneath many hours of video to cut through and when Nighthold appears, how can people get a hold of you, and what's going on with you?
Gearing up for that whole cave experience of editing videos. But our Twitter is LOS_gaming. Our YouTube channel is LOS Gaming Show. Yeah, those videos will be coming out as quick as we can pump them out. So starting next Tuesday, hopefully we'll have the first couple fights there. You can just check them out there.
Yeah, and
other than that,
around the guild, I hear it all the time, and in our Discord and all this kind of stuff, I hear this one thing: your videos are kind of like Game of Thrones. We were talking about before the show. It's like there's a short run of them, but high demand, and so when you don't put them out anymore, people are kind of like, oh man, I can't wait. They're gonna start putting out videos any second now. They're gonna start putting out videos, and then you do that, and then everybody freaks out. They're like, they get their 2-minute fix. You know what I'm talking about? So
why can't Tattva tell me how to kill this boss? Where is the video?
Exactly.
Man, that's a good impression, Shark.
That's me.
That is Shark.
That's me in
That's just
IRL.
him. That's him.
I thought you were trying to be.
That's
What's
right.
that one dude's?
That's right.
Anyways.
Hey, Shark, how about you, buddy?
Man, I'm everywhere. I'm going to be getting back into streaming a little bit. Twitch.tv/Sharku_CTR. You can tweet me, Sharku_CTR.
Yeah.
I've been actually had some conversations with Shield Wall from the starting zone that once they get that back up, I might be on a show or two of that. So if you guys listen to that show as well, check that out. So more deets to come with that. But yeah, lots of cool stuff. The semester starts on January 17th.
Oh man, you're gonna be ready.
Yes.
You're gonna be
So,
ready.
yeah, I
Go
will be-
back
I will
to
be-
school.
Knee deep in grading.
Yeah. Awesome. Cool.
Anyway.
And then I know that over the break I did some things. I did a podcast Q&A that came out, I don't know, before the new year. And people seem to like that. And that's on my YouTube channel. So you can check that out. And I plan on doing some more of that type of stuff. So if you wish, you can follow me at Pat Green on Twitter and check out all that stuff. But for now, I'm going to turn this off, and then I'm going to play that one. There we go. Now, for the show, you can join our conversations anytime. You can email us at convertraid@gmail.com. You can call and leave comments and questions on our raid line, 612-787-RAID. That's 612-787-7243. You can follow us on Twitter at ConvertToRaid. And make sure to join the Bazuba Guabo Nation by heading over to converttoraid.com, where we have show downloads, forums, videos, audios, and more, including our Discord stuff and like all the ways you can talk to us. All the guild stuff is over there, converttoraid.com. We're also on the internet via iTunes, etc., and YouTubes. So check us all out there as well. Convert to Raid Presents is produced and distributed by Signals Media. Make sure to check out all of our friends at the Signals Media All-Star Network at signalsmedia.com. I don't know why I went to that voice. I usually do.
I'm proud of it. It was a good one.
Thanks, buddy. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, that is going to be it for the show, for this wonderful show, as we head back into gaming in the new year. So with that, and my friends, we all bid you adieu. Bye-bye, everybody. Bye-bye. See you next show. Bye.
See ya.
Bye.